All I can think about with Diddy and everything that's going on is like, wow, it's like, God, she's involved with everybody. Seems like he was everywhere at once, and he sure would have you thinking that, hey, I'm so powerful that I'm everywhere at once, right? Oh yeah, this is how the ex-narcissist walked around as well. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to another God's Little Makeup Artist Talk. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. That way you're notified of all of my future uploads. And hit the like button so that way more people can be introduced to this channel. P. Diddy is the big story right now all over social media. It's everywhere. I do want to say this. None of this is a joke. None of this is a joke. For as long as we are still alive and we're breathing, even with the consequences that are due with our actions in life, we make poor decisions in life, there are always going to be consequences. It might not happen right away, but it does happen at some point. Unfortunate, because a lot of people think that they're invincible, and depending on how much money you have, how much power, you don't think that you're going to get caught. And unfortunately, this is what it looks like for P. Diddy. There are some other things that have surfaced and things like that, like Cassie's lawsuit. Now we can talk in this department here. Why? Because I don't know if I'm gonna say triggered, slightly triggered. I don't know what it is, but I will say that I have my own personal experience when dealing with someone who is extremely narcissistic. So depending on how long you guys have been following me for, back in 2021, I got fired from Amazon. I was working at Amazon when I first moved to Texas. Fast forward to the whole point of why I'm doing this video. Watching that video and hearing certain things that have been talked about when it comes to P. Diddy's behavior, it reminds me so much of the ex-narc that I was involved with. That's where I met him. I met him when I was working at Amazon. So one thing I will say about a narcissist, or a few things I'm going to say about narcissists, they are very persistent and not in a cutesy way, that you have to tell them to leave you alone when you don't want to be bothered. But if you are, in my case, I had no idea what a narcissist was back then in 2020. Up until the time that I met him, I had no idea exactly what a narcissist was. To my understanding, a narcissist to me at that time was someone who was conceited and only just really very into themselves. Just a conceited person. Now, narcissists are into themselves. They're selfish, very self-centered. They're not concerned about people that are around them. The only thing that they are concerned about when it comes to other people is using them. I just want to make sure that I'm really careful with my words, because the Holy Spirit is in me too. Really kind of just explain why the behaviors of P. Diddy are so similar to the behavior of the individual that I was involved with. I will say one thing that I've noticed too, it seems like the people that P. Diddy was involved with, which was a lot of people, whether that be with whatever was going on behind closed doors and, you know, what we saw, the public saw. It seemed like he was everywhere at once, although he wasn't everywhere at once. I wouldn't put it past him if he's had people assigned to each individual who he was in contact with, who he had control over, to keep them under control. It would seem like, dang, Diddy is just involved in everything, like he's everywhere. I did get involved with somebody who not too long into that situation, I found out that he was a narcissist. I went down this huge rabbit hole. The first time that he wanted to hang out with me, he just kept trying. It got to the point where I was like really contemplating whether or not I was gonna go to HR and report him to HR. I should have, but if you've never been in a situation like this before, you're not really gonna know to do things like that. Like, okay, I'm not gonna go and cause someone to lose their job, which perhaps that made me even more of a target. Karen wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that. She's sweet. She's sweet. She wouldn't do that. She's forgiving type, you know, and I know that these types of individuals target people who are very forgiving. At that time, I think I regretted it. I don't now, because, you know, testimonies come out of this, and it's a lot easier now because I forgive him. I now forgive him now. There's no, hey, I don't have any like disgust when I think about him or anything like that. It's just, wow, like I really went through that. It only lasted for about 8 months, and that 8 months, it was like me getting to a certain point to where I was thinking, how am I going to get out of this now? How am I going to get out of it? And they can sense when you're trying to get away. narcissists. They can sense when you're trying to get away. If they cannot get a hold of you and they know your location, they will pop up on you, which is what happened to me on multiple occasions. He would show up to my apartment. The abuse happened not too long after we started hanging out. When I think about it, the abuse actually starts from day one. The moment you decide that, hey, I'm gonna hang out with this person, first of all, when you tell them no so many times and then you decide, hey, I wanna go and be with you, that doesn't make them happy. Now on the exterior, because they're so nice, right? They're love bombing you. That's the first stage of the cycle, right? What is it, like the idealization? Or I just know that the love bombing happens first. They're telling you that you're so beautiful. Actually, the thing about narcissists is that they tell you the truth about you. They see how you are, they study you, they watch you, and it's like they become the person that you want in an individual, you know, for like a spouse or significant other. So they will become that person depending on what you tell them or how you interact with them. Are you sweet? Are you smart? Are you passionate? Whatever it is, they like these traits about you. And so when they're learning it, as they're learning it, they're trying to steal your identity in a sense. So it's like they're just sniffing all that out of you. How? Because they want to spend all of their time with you. If they're not with you physically, face to face, sitting in the same room, they will sit on the phone with you 24 hours a day. Well, that's drastic, but it seems like that. They struggle to be alone because there's a lot of torment that goes on in their mind. They don't like having to think about the things that they have done to the people that they've hurt in the past, whether that be family members, previous relationships. I just know that and in my case, he had to always be on the phone with me. And then when I got comfortable, started letting him come over, he would come over. And then now that he knew where I lived, it was over. With the narcissist, they will put you on a pedestal. They like controlling everything. So they know that if they have you on a pedestal, they can put you up here if they want, right? Right up here. But then they yank it from underneath your feet and you come hitting the ground. It's like a conditioning that's happening. They condition you mentally so that you can start, it's like they're weaving you into their web of abuse. You got to get used to how they do things. You got to get used to it. They have to be the ones to make you feel sad, make you feel hurt, angry. They got to be the ones to make you feel better. And the thing is, they'll do it right away. So if you're hurt and you're all the way down on the ground and you don't know what to do, you know, they come back, they want to give you a hug, they buy you a gift, they tell you that you're beautiful, whatever it is. It gets nuts. It gets nuts. Then it becomes physical. Now you guys are fighting. I wasn't scared, so I ended up fighting back with him. I ended up fighting back. By the time he and I both got fired from Amazon, what he was doing to me, finally had to go and talk to the people in the office about what was going on because I was so off task. I'm just giving you what's kind of rolling off my head right now because I'm thinking of these Diddy behaviors and I'm like, dang, like it's so similar to dude. I mean, Diddy with Cassie, I'm sure from what I seen in that video alone, narcissists don't like being exposed. They want to appear to be perfect before everyone. Your family, his family. Depends, right? I just know, like with my family, he had to come off looking perfect. There was always a motive for why they were doing what they were doing. When they get close to people that are close to you and they succeed in that, they try to make the attempt to get your family to look at you as if you're crazy, when really behind closed doors, they've been doing so much to you mentally that you're like low-key, high-key out of your mind. And because of all that identity, your identity that they have taken from you, from spending all that time with you over the phone or coming over all the time, just being up underneath you, just sucking all of that out of you, they start picking up your mannerisms, picking up how you respond to things. It's like low-key they want to become you kind of deal, you know? And it's really, it's unfortunate when you don't know the cycle of abuse when it comes to narcissists. But once you do learn, it's like you can spot it. Whether they just be, if they're not narcissists and they're just very toxic individuals, once you detect it, you know to stay away from it type of thing. One day I was at home and I was sitting doing this, you know, I was recording, making some videos for YouTube. And this was in 2021, I think. I'm getting to the place where I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel more like myself. I feel like I'm starting to gain more control and getting myself back again, right? So I'm recording. I guess he was trying to call me and I wasn't answering the phone. Or I think I did answer the phone. It's kind of blurry, but if I did answer the phone, he wanted to know what I was doing. I think I did answer the phone. He wanted to know what I was doing. And I told him I was recording a video or whatever. This is back when I would like drink and stuff like that, which I don't drink anymore, but I was drinking my glass of wine. Sure enough, like we get off the phone, or no, he comes and knocks on the door. He's at my apartment. He was all dressed up. He was supposed to be going and hanging out with his friends. And like I said at the beginning, they can tell when they really feel as though you're moving away from them or pulling away from them. They don't like that. They don't like losing supply, especially if you're the primary one, the primary source of supply. They ain't trying to lose that. They cannot stand to see you move on. And my neighbor's leaving because she's going on a date, and she walks by us, and just to cut to the chase, he's there with me, standing with me in my apartment, and she's looking at him and she's looking at me and she says, he really does love you. Now he put this mask on. He's looking at her, oh, you look really nice. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, yeah, he's not even supposed to be here. He's supposed to be going somewhere else, you know? As soon as we say bye to her and we shut the door, this man puts his hand around my neck, pushes me up against the wall, puts his hand around my neck and pushes me up against the wall. That wouldn't be the first time that he actually puts his hands on me though. He ends up not leaving. He's upset, angry, enraged because I'm minding my own business. You're not allowed to move on. You're not allowed to feel better. It's my job to make you feel happy, and it's my job to make you feel sad or angry. I have to control your emotions. You don't get to have control over your emotions anymore. It's kind of like that's the idea that I get from them. This is usually around like that devaluation stage, because now we're no longer in the love bomb stage. We're now in the devalue. We're in the devalue now. You're not allowed to move on. You move on when I discard you, right? The discard comes after the devalue. That wouldn't be the first time that he would actually put his hands around my neck. Just wanted to share with you, like, wow, like the comparison. All I could think about with Diddy and everything that's going on is like, wow, it's like, gosh, he's involved with everybody. Seems like he was everywhere at once, and he sure would have you thinking that, hey, I'm so powerful that I'm everywhere at once, right? Oh yeah, yeah. This is how the ex-narcissist walked around as well. He trotted around like that as well. He would talk like that too. You can't get away from me. You can't get away from me. You're mine. He even told me, you know, he was addicted to me. This is crazy. I was getting ready to fly out to California back home. This is also in 2021. During that summer, flew back for our high school reunion. You know, every time I would walk past the man, I was so bruised up mentally, even spiritually, because I was far removed from the Lord, right? But I'm never too far from the Lord. I also because I know that the Lord was still protecting me, even in that situation that was not of him. But I'm walking around just like sketchy, because every man that I would see, I'm like, you're an abuser, you're an abuser, you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist. I just couldn't be around a man comfortably. He made sure that every time I would step outside, every time I would fly out to go back home, you know, narcissists don't like being left, even if it's for a temporary amount of time. They don't like it. When I got involved in that and I started to learn what I was dealing with, I had to get to a place to where I was no longer ignorant of this type of individual. When they move too fast, when everything seems so perfect at the beginning, they talking about they want to marry you because this one did that. Oh, I know that you're my wife. You're my wife, you're my wife. What? There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. Whether it's with the church or, you know, with people that are in the world, there's so much going on. And it's like, oh my gosh, we cannot be shocked, because biblically, the Lord has already been telling us things that are going to be happening. People will be lovers of themselves and money. That's in 2 Timothy. There's a lot of things this is why it's so important to read the Word of God, because you don't want to be in this space to where you're like, yeah, I'm a Christian, but you don't know what's going on. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be aware with who you get involved with. We can't be ignorant anymore. We have to be okay with waiting.